How's it going, guys? It's Nate. I'm back with another official movie review. We're here with Words on Bathroom Walls, and I'm here with my good friend David.
What's up, guys? I am David. Yeah.
So you do movie reviews kind of on the side as well, just with another friend.
I do.
Yeah, so I actually haven't seen any of yours.
Yeah.
But your friend edits them and does all the work on them. You just you get on there and just so he's gonna be way better at this than I am. I'm gonna be like,
just a little bit.
He's gonna be bringing out like big guns, big words.
Yeah, it's like here are my profound words. I am David. But dude, thanks for having me on here, man. It's a joy. It's a pleasure. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to do this.
Yeah, same. Let's go. So, basically, this movie it's a teen drama. Which going into it, I actually didn't know it was. The trailer kind of looked a little bit like that, but honestly, I didn't go into it thinking teen drama. Let's go see this movie. And I had a friend that had seen it before, actually, Micaiah. Had seen it before, and he said he had loved it. I think he rated it like a 9.5/10.
I think so, yeah.
Which is really good for him, even though he has very interesting taste in movies.
Micaiah does have very interesting taste. Some might call it eccentric.
Yeah, right? Some might. So I was like, okay, let's go see it. The trailer looked good. So I just, after watching it, learned that it actually was a teen drama. And of course, watching it, it's like, this feels really teen vibe. But in my thought, I thought that was more not on purpose. That was my thought. But because it was, that boosts it up in my mind as well, because that was purposeful. It wasn't an accident.
Right.
Which makes sense.
Like they... like it kind of, again, like I like what we were talking about earlier. I came into this movie like naked expectations, like I had no idea what I was gonna see, and as the movie unraveled, it was like, okay, like this is a teen drama, but it wasn't, like I feel like this movie did teen dramas very well, because it made a definite awareness of like mental illness there, and so it wasn't just a teen drama,
For
like,
sure.
I think it can be compared to like what's that movie, like Why Stars Go Dim or something like that,
okay.
where there was a teen drama, but one of the characters were dying.
Yeah.
And so they did this pretty well, I would say.
Yeah, I would say, especially being a teen drama, like most stereotypical teen dramas have super cheesy like elements to them.
Yeah.
And this one really had positive message. Obviously it was overly positive being a teen drama.
Sure.
Especially for the subject matter. But I enjoyed it a lot, honestly. Especially the way they portrayed the issue of schizophrenia.
Yeah.
I feel like they did it so well.
Right.
But yeah, so pros and cons. What do you think?
Sure. So let's start with like kind of piggybacking right off of what you said. The way that they portrayed, the mental illness of schizophrenia in the movie was something like I've never really seen that before. I don't really have a reference or like like a shout out to something else, but it was in the beginning of this film. When we were watching it, it was like, I'm like, man, like there were a lot of illustrations like going on to where like there was voices calling out to Adam, the main character. There was like pretty much like some Dark Phoenix like type of stuff, like oh, he's a mutant,
Dark
like,
clouds.
Right, exactly. There's like grim voices in his head, and he's seeing things float around. In the very beginning, the main character was talking about how at first he thought he had like a glaucoma or something like that, because he couldn't see. He would see like freaky things, and so I'm like, okay, it's 2020. We're about another superhero movie. Like I'm like, we're about to watch this, but they used all of the visual effects in this movie were to illustrate his illness, the schizophrenia. So the movie did very good at just portraying something that I'm not very familiar with at all. it's been a long time since psychology class, in
Yeah.
high school, and so I don't know anybody personally who deals with schizophrenia, but I would have to say that this movie adaptation of somebody going through that was pretty cool to check out. It kind of gives you a peek into their world.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The way it portrayed it was, I think, really well done. And like you said, you went into it just nothing, no trailer, hadn't seen the trailer, nothing.
Nada.
So, and I think that might even be a great way to go see a movie. I'm actually like thinking like, maybe I'll just like stop watching trailers.
Yeah, man,
because
dude.
they give away so much.
Trailers ruin lives.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man. If there's anything that I ever am looking forward to seeing, I do not watch the trailer.
See that I think that's smart. I think it's that's something I'm thinking about for sure.
Yeah.
Because that sounds like such a great way to experience a movie, like just going just blind.
Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome. Yeah, so for a teen drama, like I said, this was just really well put together. The acting, the story, the structure, the characters, and the way they complemented each other, I think was really well done. And another thing, lots of teen dramas, I feel like, especially in 2020, are pushing certain thoughts. There's for specific things, and this is, it's pushing thought about schizophrenia.
Sure.
But it's definitely in a positive light. But it's these characters are realistic. They're living in their lives, and they're I feel like they're portrayed so realistically. And
I agree.
And even outside of schizophrenia, they would be realistic.
Right.
Which, yeah.
Right. The characters in his head.
Yeah.
So like, who are these guys? We had Joaquin,
the little fella.
Right, dude, that guy was my favorite dude, man. In this movie, like, along with the abstract things that the main character Adam saw, like, he would see like things floating sometimes when he got in really stressful situations. There was a scene in the movie where like things were literally like flying at him, like almost like he was in a tornado. But there was also portrayals of different characters in his head that he saw that nobody else saw. And
yeah,
dude, Joaquin was my boy in this movie. Dude, like, whenever Adam got into like a really bad situation, Joaquin shows up like, bro, you want me to take this dude out? Like, I'm ready to, bro. Like, I'm ready to do this. Like, that guy was freaking funny, man.
And so the bodyguard, is that who you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so I think Joaquin is the teenager.
Oh, dang. Okay, let's. So so not Joaquin. Joaquin was cool too, but the bodyguard, right.
Honestly, the bodyguard, is such a great character. He's like what? He would just appear like he's like,
right,
you ready?
Yeah,
let's go.
He was ready to go.
I loved because he would appear out of nowhere. Like when the main character was introduced to the love interest Maya, she like walks over and she's kind of in a threatening pose. She's kind of threatening, and that was on purpose, but they like appear behind her, him and his boys, the bodyguard and his boys, and they're like ready to get her.
Dude, right. They're like, just give me the word, boss. Like, give me the word. Like, they were ready. Dude.
Those and the characters in his head, I feel like were actually such good portrayals of what's going on, even in anybody's mind.
Sure.
You had the hippie, the kind, positive, like uplifting girl, and like. Her character was really interesting in and of itself.
Definitely.
But portrayed that side of the psyche or side of the mind really well, I feel like. And then you had the teenage, horny kid.
He was pretty much a major embodiment of any high school male. Was Joaquin.
Exactly. Exactly. And then you had the tough, like harsh, like aggressive side, and I feel like each of them portrayed so well, and also the introduction to each of them was so interesting as well.
Sure.
Like when it introduced each part of his mind or what he was seeing in the illness, obviously, they were almost like they were real. So it almost puts you as the audience in his mindset,
right?
In the mindset of, wow, I'm really seeing this, even though it's kind of weird because there's this girl that's super super hippie
Yeah.
type. Or when Joaquin was
Right.
introduced, he's like leaning at the bar with
Yeah.
his drink, and I legit thought he was a real person.
I did too.
I was like, what's happening?
Right, because in the beginning of the movie, you didn't know. I would say probably the first maybe 15 to 20 minutes, you didn't know that he had schizophrenia. So you saw these we were still figuring that out as the audience, and we saw these characters in his head, but we just thought those were random people,
Right?
Yeah,
Legit. When he was leaning on the bar, when Joaquin was there, I was like, Is he gay?
Yeah,
legit,
right.
That's what
100.
popped into my head. Is he
Yeah,
gay?
right.
And then it turns out that he's just in his head, and he's this super,
right, because Joaquin is a character who is constantly in his boxers and a robe in the entire movie. That's all he wears.
That's it.
Yeah.
And he might be my favorite character just because he's so expressive with everything he's doing. He's like, his movements, his facial expressions, or like the main character, his name's Adam.
Yeah.
Adam.
Oh man.
But when he's about to take his pill, Joaquin's like, "Don't do it, don't do it." It's like expressive.
Right.
It is hilarious.
It's like, don't you do this to us, man? Yeah, those characters were a major part of the movie. Let's just like break that down for a second. Like you brought up how all the characters, like when they were introduced in the movie, like Adam is a character in this movie. Of course, he's dealing with a mental disorder. He's dealing with schizophrenia, and there's a little bit of a lack of personality coming from his character, and you have these three entities in his head. That's such an expression of character, like they're like exaggerations at almost. And when each of these characters were introduced, I think that the hippie chick who was Becca was like the first one, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, she came up in the movie, and it was while he was in school. Him and his best friend were talking about a girl's party that they wanted to go to, that they were interested in.
Yeah.
And so this girl, almost like I mentioned to you and Micaiah too, it was almost like an inner mother kind of character, or like an inner like nourishing kind of character that guys want. We want to be nourished. We want to be loved, and she was totally that character for him.
You're
like
right.
a very big expression of like love and like nurturement,
emotion.
Yeah,
I agree with that, because like every time, like if he was feeling emotion, it was like she was there rooting him on,
right?
Even comforting him. Like there was one time he was laying on his bed, like leaning on her shoulder.
Yeah. Right, and I'm like, that's just sincere.
Yeah,
that was like,
so
that was
good.
sincere, dude.
And that's another thing. Each of these characters was so sincere in his head.
Right.
Each of the characters in his head was so sincere and about who they were, and that's because they were representations of his mind. So that's just who they are. That's
right.
The emotion and kindness. That's who she is.
Yeah,
and they portrayed that so well.
They
Even there was a really intense emotional scene where between the mother and the main character, and they're like, it's emotional, it's intense, and it pans to the hippie chick sitting on the couch.
Yeah.
And she's like crying.
Right.
And that was like intense, because it was like, dang, that's exactly what's going on in his head.
That's it.
And that's powerful.
Right,
I was
dude.
like,
yeah,
legit.
because like he couldn't really express like certain things. I don't think that there was one scene in the movie where he did cry. I can't remember, but definitely like when you're going through something like that, I don't have freaking schizophrenia, but like I was like depressed for a while. I was on antidepressants, and there is like a very big there's a very big side of you becomes kind of numb to like emotion and almost personality. So I can see that in this character in Adam. Like these three people were like that was like his inner like turmoil, or his inner like comedies and tragedies like coming out.
That's good,
and, dude. The bodyguard. So Becca's like his emotional nourishment. The bodyguard is just like that aggressive, I guess more of a father figure. Like, dude, like you coming at me, I'm coming right back at you, bro. Like you coming on my boy, I'm gonna get you. Like, dude,
he's like intense. What did they say? Loyal. He's there.
Bro, it's like that one friend that you have that's just always ready to fight somebody for you. You're like, bro, I really don't want you to do this, but he's like, no, he's like, this is happening. That was like straight up the bodyguard for Adam, because Adam was not a very aggressive person. There was a few times with Paul, there was a few times with his stepdad where he lashed out a bit, but that was another side of him through the bodyguard that was portrayed, like that aggression. And then in the last one, Joaquin was just, that's just that inner teenager right there, like the inner teenager.
Love.
Yeah, bro.
Because he's like...
the love, dude. Every guy and girl knows what it's like to be a hormonal teenager.
That's it.
That was Joaquin, dude.
Yeah, he's like, they're sitting there with Maya and him watching the movie, and he's like, grab her hand. Come on, just grab her hand.
Right. Oh, yeah, man.
In his boxers the whole time.
I know,
bro. Yeah, that's cool. That's like those emotions that were portrayed through those characters. Just that even just popped in my head. Like that's legit. Emotions portrayed as characters.
Yes,
that's a good opportunity.
Inside Out #.
Yeah. So let's think other characters. I think man, each character was so unique. I feel like this movie was actually set apart in that way, like the uniqueness of the characters, the differences, and the way they capitalized on those differences. Even Paul, the stepdad,
freaking Paul,
like they didn't push on you that this guy's out for the main character, or you should dislike this guy, or you should like this guy. He was just kind of a blank slate character.
Yeah.
That you just kind of thought that you didn't even know what to think. You kind of just followed. I guess it's based on your personality. You kind of just follow what the main character's thinking, or maybe you side with him a little bit. You're like, poor stepdad. Just kind of depending on your own worldview or personality or whatever.
Sure.
But he's just kind of a blank slate character, and then in the end, like, comes out of nowhere and freaking saves the. Well,
he saved the day.
So great.
Dude, like he literally turned around like so much in the movie. Like I say, like this guy has like a salvation arc in the movie because he started. Yeah, of course you're following Adam. You're following the main character. His like portrayal of the world and his environment. So Paul is not a very likable guy in this movie. At first, it was just in the beginning of the movie, Adam's mom and dad divorced. And so they split, and so that left it with just Adam and his mother, and they were showing like the building of their relationship, like them building that bond. Then along came Paul, and that's when a lot of crap kind of hit the fan. Like for Adam in this movie, he had to change schools, he had to like get used to the dynamic. Were having a baby too, with his mom and Paul, her boyfriend, but. Ultimately, in the end, my boy Paul came through.
He came through.
And it was just very interesting. I don't think that we see that a lot in movies where a character, I don't know, like it was like freaking Professor Snape, like Harry Potter, like the whole time you think he's like a bad dude,
dude.
In the end, he comes out and he's like, "Nah, dude,
I
was for you your
whole
time." Right?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's a good comparison. Like. I think it's so interesting. So actually, this movie as a teen drama, I think really is unique in the way the characters had depth. Because I feel like most teen movies and teen dramas even just don't. They're missing something, and even like his passion for cooking.
Yeah.
That's something that's not in most teen movies, teen dramas. They don't have a passion. They don't have a goal. It's just kind of the movie's centered around the romance or the drama or the school.
A lot of shallow stuff.
Yeah. And so this not only had the depth of showing schizophrenia and that mental illness and portraying that, but it also had the depth of showing a realistic kid's life. Like, his goals, his aspirations, his desires. And I think that's why it's such a good story in and of itself, and a good movie overall, is because it's well written. It really is.
I agree. Like there was depth in this movie. There was layers going on. You know, like sure, like the main blunt is this kid dealing with schizophrenia, trying to figure out his life, but you know, there were things of his passion. Him cooking in this movie was what helped him. It helped his situation. Like he literally said that the voices in his head goes away when he's cooking. He found that passion after his dad left him and his mother, you know, and he's trying, his ultimate goal is his career goal is to get into culinary school. And so that's going on throughout the whole movie.
Yeah, that's like a goal from the very beginning. Right. It's like, that's his goal. Right. That's his dream. And so even, man, that's what makes a good story. There's so many of these movies out here that just don't set the goals, don't set and then they're just kind of, whatever. Right.
It's like nothing's really, I don't know, like sometimes there's like things that are accomplished, but sometimes I feel like nothing's really accomplished.
Yeah.
Here, you know, like it's kind of like, you know, like, oh, I'm gonna take off my shirt and sparkle in front of the Valtori, you know, like or whatever.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Robert Pattinson, I love you. He had to come back.
He did, for real. Yeah. Robert Pattinson coming up.
Right.
Bro, that's good. Yeah. I think another thing about the movie that's so interesting is its portrayal of like religion.
Yeah.
I think it's so crazy because I basically any movie that's portraying religion, right, that I've ever seen, portrays it in a way that kind of demonizes it a little bit.
Sure.
Even like it makes it like either Christians really weird or really preachy or over the top, just weird,
super flaky.
Yeah,
so like Frosted Flakes. Yeah,
yeah, with milk on top, like legit.
Yeah. Yeah. This did a great job, and I mean, like, you know, like I'm not Catholic, but I have absolutely no. You're Catholic, like props to you, dude.
Yeah.
Like they show like the expression of Christianity in this movie was through Catholicism, and most of it focused on the confession, you know, the confessional deal. And what was it that the father said? Like he said, like when we're open about our sins and our flaws, you know, it just makes us understand that we're more human and more humanizing.
Yeah.
You know, like something along those lines.
Yeah,
like,
it gives you the ability to connect with the people around you,
right,
the people that care about you,
right,
when you confess your sins. And even, it's interesting, like, he actually quoted a verse and left out the part about a sound mind.
Yes, he did.
Which I was like, that's weird.
Right.
The movie's about the mind.
Bro, like, like, that's like, we need that sound mind part, right? Yeah, definitely.
But legit, the connection between the characters, religious or not, was good. And the ones that were Sister Catherine and the father, I don't even remember his name. But, like, there was a connection there, and he wasn't even religious. He was like, I don't even believe in God. But the father, the main character, but the father just kind of connected with him personally.
Right.
And showed love to him, even through everything going on, and you know, the struggle, him getting expelled or suspended or whatever.
Right.
Everything, like, it was a legit, loving relationship, and that's, I mean, really, that's what Christianity's about, is relationship.
Right.
So it's like, it was portrayed almost like a Christian movie.
It was. like shout out to Pure Flix. Like, this was almost on there, bro.
But, like, somehow a good Christian.
Yeah, it wasn't like ridiculously cheesy. And
right.
Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of Christian movies are like hella cheesy, bro, but like there's still good parts in them. There's still like that, you know, that Hallmark kind of feel. It's like that Hallmark kind of feel that you get in it, but you know, this was a straight up, this, like, as Christians, one of the big thing that we should do is go into the world, you know, and this movie portrayed Christianity I would say an accurate depiction,
Yeah.
and it was a secular film,
Yeah.
so I think they did a great job.
Yeah, I really think religion or Christianity in a secular setting just portrayed really, really beautifully.
Yeah.
I really do. Yeah, and I'm not, bashing on Christian movies per se. Like, it's like hour and a half sermons for the most part.
Yeah,
Which, I mean, in their own right, cool.
Sure.
But, yeah, it definitely wasn't that. It was definitely portrayed differently than I've seen before, for sure.
Right.
So, and actually, when they introduced the first Christian character, the Catholic, what is it?
The sister.
Sister Catherine, whatever her name was. Basically, they introduced her, and she's like talking about allowing him in the school, or what's going on, what are we gonna do, and he starts hallucinating her catching on fire.
Yeah. It was the bodyguard. The bodyguard was smoking in his mind. The bodyguard was smoking a cigar, and he flicked it on the sister's head,
and it's on her head. And it catches her on fire and catches the desk on fire. And of course, she's just talking like usual.
Right.
And actually, when he was doing that, and the flames were all around her, I was thinking like, oh, here we go. This is gonna portray religion, because literally it's a nun burning in fire.
Right.
I was like, this is gonna be interesting, but usual. I wasn't surprised. I was just like, okay, here we go.
Right.
And then you kind of look back and realize, like, oh, in all reality, that was a portrayal of that, but it was just Adam's perception of the nun.
Yeah. That was really cool, man. Like how they did that, because it's like you're seeing this world through Adam's eyes, and so that's what he saw first through Sister Mary Catherine, whatever her name is. Like that hellfire, brimstone kind of feel, and then later on through Father Patrick, you saw like the true, like, sincere, like, of this guy, of God's pursuit, because I would say definitely next to his mom and like Maya, the love interest in this movie, Father Patrick was like the most, like, the biggest bro,
impactful.
Yeah.
And Paul.
Yeah, Paul. Right.
Freaking Paul.
No, we can't forget that guy.
But legit, he had such an impact on him. Even visiting him at his lowest point, which that's another thing about the story structure. The story arc of this movie is so good. In the ups, he's like at his peak, and then he just falls. Right? He's like, went to the movie with the love interest, Maya. He's like, there, it's great. But inner turmoil.
Adam. Yeah, dude, this freaking voice followed him around pretty much at his low points. There is this voice just full of like self condemnation and doubt, and this voice was like telling him to freaking kill himself. And that he was a failure. He was trash. You heard this. Yeah, dude, this voice was like that. This voice was a troll throughout the entire. Yeah, bro. I was like, dang, dude. But,
it's funny, bro.
Yeah,
because out of context, that sounds so cheesy.
Dude,
you're trash.
Right. You need to watch the movie.
Watch the movie, bro. That's good. Yeah. Man, Maya was a good character too.
She was a good character.
What I love is, like, the movie wasn't overall pushing anything.
Right.
And so many movies do these days. It's like, stop. Write a character that believes these things. It's like, okay, so Maya, she said something about not wanting to go to prom because of the patriarchal structure of prom.
Right.
And so I've seen movies that are pushing that entire thought of patriarchal structure against that, right?
Sure.
But this isn't that.
No.
This is very well done.
No, all right.
She believes that.
Right.
Great.
Right. That was her character. That was her personality.
Yeah.
But it was not the entire essence
overarching.
of the film.
Yeah. So I appreciate that. I like that, because it's like, okay, whatever.
Yeah. She did a good job, man. It was her and the mom in this movie actually play in a show. What is it? Lost in Space. They play in Lost in Space. It's Taylor Russell, and the mom Molly Parker. They're in Lost in Space. It just came out with a second season, I think, this year or last year.
Okay.
And Taylor Russell Maya, she's definitely that preppy, super smart, like valedictorian in this show as well. In that show as well, and she does a really good job playing that role, as just the put together, sophisticated overcomer and like struggler,
Yeah.
she plays the adopted black daughter to the Robinsons in Lost in Space in the movie. And so she's just like, she's the sister in that show who has like all the trophies and awards and stuff like that, and the other kids are like kind of like not as great, and so I think she was definitely typecasted for this role.
I can see that for sure. Yeah, because she is exactly that, so put together, confident. She's like, she walks up and she's just like, she's so put together. She's valedictorian. She's like smart, but she also has the side hustle of like doing people's papers for them, and they pay her.
She got that bathroom hustle.
She got that bathroom hustle. But it's like, he even asked her like, why do you do that? And she's like, oh, I enjoy helping people. Which you're like, okay. But then of course you learn later that she's, her father's working hard. He actually has medical bills. He couldn't work.
Bro.
And she's like busting her butt for her family. And that just adds a whole new layer to her character. It's like, that's cool. That's legit.
Can we just talk about how optimistic her freaking dad was? Like, my boy is like working on 2 broke legs with like 1 daughter with like 3 jobs and
2 kids, sitting on the couch.
That dude was like, when you just kind of look at his character, you're like, why are you this optimistic? You're like, he was so chill. Like,
he's like, come on in. He's
like, right.
Grab some. You want some food? Want some water? Like, that's actually legitimate, like, Hispanic culture a lot of times.
Sure is.
And that's like so cool to me.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, let's go.
right.
Which is interesting. I would. Is she ethnically? Is she Hispanic?
She looks definitely like black and something else. I'm sure she's probably mixed. She can come off as like a Blexican.
Yeah. And even the 2 boys sitting on the couch, I would say that's correct. That's cool. That's like awesome.
Yeah.
Bro, like, so optimistic.
Yeah, man. I'm
like, I'll heat up some TV dinners.
Right,
and he's like, he's like the chef.
Dude,
in the kitchen.
I know their house is like under a underpass, it's like they're in a rough situation. And Maya, the love interest in this movie, she was working and she was doing all these things to take care of her dad because he broke his leg. He's a roofer. And so she was not in. She was portraying that she was in a lot better situation than she actually was, and that's why she was doing a side hustle of giving answers. I'm sure it was like giving answers for homework and assignments and stuff like that.
Yeah, doing essays or whatever.
Right.
That
was their first interaction between Adam and Maya was in the bathroom where she was selling test answers, and there's a lot of writing on bathroom walls.
Yes, there is. There are certain words on bathroom walls.
There were. Yeah. So that's where that whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like he's in there. And she's there's that confrontation at the front of their meeting.
Right.
And it just kind of goes from there. Studying together, building that relationship, and it's interesting because I think her reaction, even him coming to her house and like seeing her situation, and then her reaction to him like cooking for her family, I think the reaction is legit. And then the back and forth of like, no, I mean, I'm just I'm just here for you and for your family. It's just, I think it's cool.
Right. She had a very that was a very intense, like, emotional scene. I think she nailed it there, when she came home and she saw Adam Adam was looking for her. He found out that she did not have the most desirable situation. He found her underpass house, and he cooked her dad and her two little brothers dinner. She comes home after working her job, and she's like, "What the heck are you doing here?" And she kind of flipped out on our boy. But it's like that scene right there was pretty gold. I would say.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. What do you think about his reaction to the drugs in the movie there?
I really think that's really the way it is with a lot of these I guess opioids, or are they, it would be,
I think some of them are a form.
Something.
Right.
But either way, medication in general, I think there are a lot of side effects like that, of just like you were saying, numbness.
Yeah.
And even like the drug that was working that he was taking, and the hallucinations were gone, and it was all great. Then he cooked a dinner for Maya, and like his huge opportunity, great. They're like cooking, and he's like, and he couldn't taste because of the drug. And that's huge. Like, that's his dream. That's what he wants to do. Like, you can't blame him for just being like, nah, I'm not doing that.
Right.
So even, and that's, and even the portrayal of people that have these conditions and these illnesses not complying to take medication and stuff, which you can't blame them, but it's like, that's a real portrayal of that.
For sure.
Like, getting rid of the pills and different things.
Yeah. That was accurate right there, you know.
Right there.
Yeah, like, because Adam was on, you know, once he was diagnosed with schizophrenia, he tried quite a few different medications and prescriptions that actually didn't work. They didn't do anything until he was admitted to a program which is he's narrating the movie, and the program, or the pill that actually worked, is like the narration, like he's talking to the camera, and in the end you think it's gonna be some reveal to who he's talking to, but there's never is. So it's just like he was just talking to the audience.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, we're the psychiatrist,
right?
A little bit.
Oh man, like I like that.
Yeah.
I can vibe with that.
Yeah, I'm like, that was legit.
Adam, I love you. But the pill that he started taking, it worked, and like you said, like the hallucinations stopped. There was no more Joaquin, no more bodyguard, no more Becca, no more floating like beakers like coming at you,
no
or
more
anything.
Adam.
Right, no more voices. And he decided to. He didn't even want to do this, but when he decided that when he found out that he actually had feelings for Maya, that she started tutoring him, he actually liked this gal. He's like, I probably don't want to have these hallucinations, because he didn't want her to know that he was crazy. Dude, just like, think
even
about
creating a lie. In saying why I got kicked out of my last school.
He said he got into a fight. Right.
Yeah.
He said he got into a fight, but what it really was he had a psychotic breakdown in the middle of class. Think about like how crazy. Think about how hard it is to just be a teenager in high school in general. And I think he actually said this line in a movie. Like, I just remember, like, high school for me was not the most desirable situation. I know many of you can't relate to that, but dude, like, being a kid in high school with schizophrenia, man, like that has to be pretty rough. And there are those people out there, you know, that this could have been a true story. I don't even know, you know.
Definitely. Like, I don't know if it was based on true story, but I mean, easily could have been. Easily.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And so when he he's like, hey, I like this girl, don't want to be crazy no more. He started taking these pills, and they worked, but ultimately he started getting like really bad shakes, really bad shakes, and he couldn't. Biggest slap in the face is he couldn't taste food anymore, like you said. That's like, dude, that was his main thing. Like, what would you give up? Like, what's your biggest thing that you would give up to make you, like, quote unquote normal?
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah, that's it. And another interesting thing, like, when he stopped taking the pills, then the hallucinations started coming back, and it was almost like a positive thing. You almost felt positive about the return of his emotions and his the hallucinations.
Yeah.
And then, like, right after that was when it started going downhill.
Right.
Because it was like super positive, and then it was like, bam.
Yeah.
So it's
crap kind of hit
intense.
the fan.
Yeah.
For him. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he overdosed.
He did. He took,
Which, that's like the voice in the head
for sure.
telling him these dark things. Like, ooh.
Right. Yeah, he said, the Adam told him to take all the pills.
Yeah.
He said, take all the pills.
And he started listening.
Yeah.
And that's something that's like, it's like, from the outside looking in, you're like, okay, just knowledgeably, the voices in my head aren't real. Mm-hmm. That's just the, like,
right.
duh.
Right.
But no.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, that's intense.
Man, he got to the full breakdown point was when he was listening to everything that voice said. When he got into that argument,
he started repeating what the voice said.
Yeah. Right.
That's when it got intense.
Man, you know, that just made me remember. It was that very sombering part in the movie where Adam and Maya were on the bus back home, and they turned around and they saw like a crazy guy in the back of the
like
in the
a
back
homeless
of the bus. Dude,
guy in the back of the bus.
Like, the more that I think about this movie, the more that, like, this movie gave me legitimate feels, man. Because this is a kid going through these situations, and he, like, just to show, like, you know, like, his absolute worst nightmare. Like, that was the embodiment of, like, what he what he was running from. This guy's just in the back of the bus saying, like, don't make me go back there. Don't take me there. You can't take me there.
Yeah. And then,
know,
like, he, like, sits up and looks at the main character, and he's like, don't let him take you.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
straight at him, bro.
Right.
That's like, that gets personal,
bro. Dude,
that's intense.
That was like just, you know, like homeless crackhead you see on the street, but you know, like, there's always so much more going on. Like, there's a lot of homeless people with mental issues. You know, I know that
so
we kind of
many.
sleep on that, but you know, like that it was just showing, like, you know, like that. It was like, man, like, this is this kid's like legitimate, like, nightmare what to become.
Exactly. Yeah, and schizophrenia is a huge thing with homeless people.
Yes.
Like, huge.
Right.
So, man, that's because even in the movie it portrayed it like the pushing the people that love you away. Right. That voice, just like everything it was saying was exactly what would cut these relationships. It's like,
right.
And then he even started packing to leave. The voice was like telling him to leave. Yeah. Like, bro.
Dude.
At that point, just listening completely to the voice, submitted completely to that voice.
There's low-key, pure flicks. This movie coming for you. There's so much, like, voice of the enemy, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I think if that voice was credited, it would be like Dark Voice or like Voice of the Enemy or something like that, man. Like, there was the part in the movie where Adam was talking about how people who get cancer, he's like, people who get cancer, like, you know, people feel sorry for them and they get loved and people come to them before they die. But people with schizophrenia pretty much just wait to die because everybody, like, nobody wants to be around them.
Yeah.
Like, another very like somber part, you know.
For real.
I was like, jeez.
Yeah.
Man.
And it's so incredible that they could go to the depth and the realism of schizophrenia and of that in a real life situation. And yet still the movie was uplifting.
Yeah.
Upbeat, hilarious at moments.
Yeah.
It had dark moments, but not like dark, like evil.
Right.
It was just like intense, dark moments that they're just realistic.
It didn't go Joker on us.
It didn't go Joker at all.
Dude, Joker is just bro, like,
there could easily be a movie. It wouldn't be a teen drama.
Oh
but
my gosh, dude! Like, writing on bathroom walls writing on bathroom walls, like, uncut is just Joker. Like, if there was just, like, you know, straight up just like, yeah, this is you're gonna have to sit down after you watch this movie. But it was uplifting. It was positive messages. It wasn't like, you know, if somebody just told you, like, yeah, this movie's about a kid with schizophrenia dealing with his problems and crap, like, you would kind of think, like, in our moderate day of, like, kind of, you know, gritty, like, very like raw, like, approaches. But this is like, it's a teen drama, but I think it can also be considered like a family movie as well.
I agree. You know? It had a little bit of strong language, like a couple words, and like, but like overall, bro,
Yeah.
Seriously. And legitimately teen drama. Like, if you told me there's a movie about schizophrenia that's a teen drama, I'm going to be like, that sounds sketch.
Right.
But legit, it's
Yeah.
a good movie. It really is.
It was a good movie.
It really is.
Yeah.
What would you say is a con
A con to this movie.
in your eyes?
I remember we were thinking about this before we started. I do not think that this movie was, I'm just going to say it, I don't think it was fantastic. I wasn't blown away by this movie. I do think that this movie was very good. And so like when I say that I didn't have that many cons with it, I'm not trying to paint a picture of like a perfection for this movie.
Right.
We were talking about just teen dramas in general. Yes, again, this keeps coming up because this was a teen drama. I am not particularly fond of teen dramas for sparkles and werewolves and other reasons. I mean, like, I'm not just gonna straight up bash them. They're not the worst thing ever invented. I cried at the end of Twilight. I'm not gonna lie, bro. It's 1,000 years. Come on, I can't.
Let's go.
Right, but man, there's just that aspect. There is like this movie played out differently. Ultimately, in the end, with the relationship with Adam and Maya, there was a little bit of cheese that came out like at the very end of this movie. It was kind of like the whole like classic like "Don't run from me, I love you" like moment, dude. I was just, when we were watching this movie, dude, I was totally caught off guard because I was kind of sleepy. And it's like I was in mid yawn like on that part and where my character goes like "I love you." I'm like what? Like, did they really just go there? It just, I don't know. It's just kind of. This whole movie was very genuine and sincere, but that part kind of took me out for a second there, you know, and it is just kind of manufactured, you know, like
I feel
teen drama, like romance that happened.
They're like, we got to wrap this up in a really positive way.
Right.
You can't just have her kiss him.
Mm-hmm, sure.
I love you.
Right. And you saw it coming the whole. There was build up. It didn't come out of nowhere.
No, for sure.
Right.
For sure.
It was at the very end of the movie. They had their tension and their relationship throughout the whole like time. But it just was to me. It was just a little cringe, not overwhelmingly.
Yeah.
But that's really one of the only things I can nitpick about this movie.
Yeah, honestly, I'm like trying to think of a con, and like he said, it wasn't overwhelmingly like just like yes. Mm-hmm. Like I would probably give it like a 70 out of 100.
Yeah, definitely. I straight up like I would like go B+, you know, B+, like maybe an A, you know. Like, this was a good movie. I enjoyed it. And again, the more that we reflect and talk about it, the more I kind of like see stuff about it.
Yeah.
So, I'll say this is a good time.
Yeah, I agree. Mm-hmm. And I 100% can't think like straight up like, yeah, I just didn't like this about it. I can't think of much. Mm-hmm. I don't prefer teen dramas, honestly. Yeah. But like the quality of this, like let's get more of these type of teen dramas.
Right.
That's gonna boost teen dramas in my eyes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like growing up watching freaking chick flicks with my sister.
Oh, poor soul. Yeah.
Yeah, this is legend compared to most of them.
Oh man, like seriously, you know. This is I think from our quarantine day and age, this is very refreshing to see. The last teen drama that I saw was the New Mutants. It was teen drama / superhero movie as an X-Men movie. I wanted to gouge my eyes out. Like, I'm just gonna say that's my personal opinion because that was straight up bad teen drama. Dude. Like that movie was trash. That movie was so bad.
I didn't even go see it. I was like, nah.
If you just like that is a typical teen drama, and of course, like it's a Marvel movie, it's an X-Men movie, and so they threw in superpowers and all that crap too, and so you know. But yeah, that was rough, you know. And again, we have had better teen dramas, and I'll put this one in that category, you know.
Sweet. Yeah, I would agree for sure. For sure.
Yeah. Thank you, Micaiah, for the, you know, recommendation, dude.
For real. Yeah. I think. You got anything else?
That wraps up.
I'm feeling good, bro. Yeah, I like it. Yeah. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this breakdown, this reaction. Not reaction.
Review.
Hopefully you enjoyed this movie review. Make sure to let us know if you have any movies that you would like to see us break down, watch, review, maybe even first reaction. That could be fun.
Yeah.
If there's a movie we haven't seen that you think we should.
Yeah.
Or a movie you want us to break down, let us know. Let me know. I'll get David on again.
I'll be here.
We'll do it. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.